Hello, and welcome to some non-podcast content finally. That's right, the podcast is finally out, the first wave of episodes is finished, and we can now resume normal content. I want to start off with like a new kind of mini-series, almost inspired by Jack Webb's WTF series, which is absolutely great. If you haven't watched WTF on Jack Webb's channel, like, go and watch it. So informative, so well put together. But no, instead of going into like a bunch of detail like Jack, I'm just going to be basically running through here my top 5 songs from a bunch of artists on the lineup, starting off with the headliners, and then we can kind of trickle down and do some other acts. If you've got any acts that you want me to do, let me know in the comments, because I don't have many plans. I've got 3 or 4 others that I want to do. But yeah, there's loads of people that I'm going to miss. So definitely let me know who you want to see me talk about. I'm hoping the series will kind of bring people up to speed with the artists on the lineup and maybe kind of like educate the people who aren't overly aware of some of the artists we'll be going through. And that's why in the first episode, I'm going to be talking about my personal favourite of the 6 headliners. Probably the most kind of under the radar of the big 6, Foals. I actually saw Foals in 2022 at Sounds of the City in Leeds. They were terrific, and it shot them up to being like one of my favourite bands ever. I am so excited to see him again. Foals are a band from Oxford. They've been around since the mid-2000s. They're kind of like tied to that Two-Door Cinema Club, Wombatsy, the Kooksy sort of scene. They're a band with like 1 or 2 certified indie classics. However, like Foals are different. They aren't just kind of your standard mid-2000s indie band, and I think that's one of the main misconceptions here. Foals have 2 kind of default settings in my opinion. Their first one is the one I think they're kind of more known for. It's like this kind of summery, groovy indie pop. But on the other side of the scale, you've got this kind of like really loud and abrasive, heavy, punk rocky, stadium rocky kind of sound, if that makes any sense. If you've not delved into them as a band, you'd most likely kind of miss that part. But yeah, so like to sum it up, like at one end of the spectrum you think Two-Door Cinema Club, kind of Tame Impala and New Paramore, but then at the other end of the spectrum we're sounding closer to acts like maybe Royal Blood, your Kings of Leon, maybe even like Idols or Biffy Clyro kind of come in. But that's just me. That's just kind of my takeaway from them. But that leads nicely into my top 5. So at number 5, I've gone with White Onions from Everything Not Saved Will Be Lost Part 1. This song's just pure adrenaline. It begins with this really choppy like synth line. I think it's a synth line, but it's this really choppy synth line. It feels like it's like kind of waiting to be set free. And then these massive drums come in, and the whole thing just kind of sets alight. And you hear this whole array of like really pretty sounds going on. I feel like this one's a bit of a deeper cut. They might not play this one live, and that's a shame because I can only imagine the absolute chaos when those drums come in like a live setting. I've also got to mention the cover art for this. Might be my favourite cover art of all time for an album. Next at number 4 is Inhaler, and that is not the band, that is the song from Foals' 2013 album Holy Fire. There's another one that opens like with this really nice kind of guitar riff and then just eventually explodes into this kind of relentless punk rock banger. I think that's where kind of Foals are at their best. These kind of guitar lines and the way they build up into like very mosh ready moments. They'll definitely play this one live, so it's very good to know because when this one drops, it is huge. That riff as well at the end, it kind of reminds me of Rage Against the Machine, but I might get abused for saying that, to be fair. I'll back it though. Up next is one you might know from FIFA 16, as well as various adverts that were kind of around at the time. Number 3, Mounting Up My Gates from 2015's What Went Down. This track is much closer to the kind of indie you probably expecting from Foals, but even with that, it has like its heavier moments. I really love the way the guitars sound here. Everything from the chord progressions to that just sexy solo at the end. It's pristine. It's a really great, like, digestible, summery indie rock song. It'll always go down great live. And the last like 80 seconds of this song as well is just remarkable. It might be the best 80 seconds of Foals' whole discography. Like, it's just different. But no, at number 2, a prime example of like the heavier side of Foals, and that is What Went Down, the title track from their 2015 LP. This track is enormous. Like I said, in terms of like the wilder, louder aspect of Foals, this is very much like Exhibit A. The track is so perfect. It could easily be like a set opener. I think they will probably play it as like a encore section tune though, like coming into the encore though. I think they're probably going to play some of their newer stuff earlier on, but it works as like an encore opener as well. That whole first section is like this really slow build up with these harsh guitar strums, and then like eventually the drums kick in and you just start hearing the whole thing building up. The guitars start playing like these ascending riffs, and all of a sudden like the main man Yannis, he comes through with like one of the hardest vocal performances in the whole catalogue for that chorus. It just gets to the point where he's essentially doing screamo by the end of the track, and it's just performed so organically. Like, the whole thing's just so satisfying. I can't wait to be in the pit for this tune. Like, it is crazy. And finally, at number 1, my favourite Foals song. Probably quite controversial actually, but it's Sunday. I love the atmosphere on this track. I really do. I don't even know what it is like, but I just love the pure summer kind of like laid back energy of this. Every time I listen to this tune, I'm just teleported to like a rooftop bar in Leeds with my mates. Like, that's the vibe I get from this tune. It opens with this like really relaxed vibe, and there's just some really nice guitar stuff going on, and then you get to kind of to the end, and Yannis gives like absolutely 100% unequivocally his best vocal performance ever on this. He sounds like literally Adele or something in that ending. And when the whole thing switches, it switches to this kind of groovy, ravey kind of like house beat thing that goes on for a while, and it's a lot of fun to listen to. They played this one at their legendary Glastonbury 2019 set. However, I don't think it's like a main staple of a live set, which is really sad because I would kill to hear this live. But anyway, no, that's it. My top 5 songs by Foals. I'll be back very soon with another one of these, so if you enjoyed it, hit like and subscribe to see more. Comment your favourite Foals song as well. I'm interested to see how basic my picks are compared to the other Foals fans, because you don't find a lot of Foals fans, so I want to know what the Foals fans love. But yeah, no, that's it. Cheers, I'll see you next time.